Good morning, you guys. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another vlog. On my way to Salon Centric right now just to get some color restocks for the week. And then we have 3 hair clients today. 2 of them are highlight touch-ups, and then one of them this afternoon is an all-over color. So it's gonna be a really chill day because the highlight touch-ups are just like minis anyway. And then with that, it shouldn't be too late of a night either, which is also nice. But anyway, if you've been keeping up on my vlogs recently, I'm finally like out of the woods sickness wise. I have like the smallest lingering cough, which I knew that was probably going to be the case, but it's not even as bad as I was anticipating it to be. Hopefully I don't jinx that actually. But yeah, and so then I was able to do my first workout this morning in a couple of weeks. If you've been like keeping up on my life in general, my workout routine this like late summer, early fall has just been so roller coastery because I got in my car accident end of May, and I stopped working out for a few weeks then when I was just like recovering from like the whiplash and all that stuff. And then I was able to start working out again in July, but then I realized how bad my back was in pain from working out. So I took a break again and I went to physical therapy, and my physical therapist was like, no, like basically we end up learning in therapy that my pelvis got like rotated under pretty badly, and that's why I kept having this like lingering back pain. So she was like, okay, stop working out while we get you like realigned and, you know, get this all figured out. And so then within a few weeks then I was able to get all of that taken care of, and so I got cleared to work out again. But then right after that, I think I got to work out like 2 or 3 times, and then I got sick. So I feel like we should be on the mend now, fingers crossed, but you never know apparently. So it's just nice to get back. I feel like I had like a full like normal Tiana morning routine. I'm more of a morning person, and so is my husband. So, you know, we were up at 5 this morning, both working out, and I love me a good like slow morning. And obviously I had to be out of the house because it's like 8 o'clock right now. So I had to be out of the house by a certain time, and I needed to wash my hair too. So I went to bed last night thinking like, well, I do know for sure I need to wash my hair, so I might not be able to get a workout in depending on what time I wake up, but I woke up at 5 just fine. So I'm glad I was able to get all of the things in, and hopefully again, like I'm just gonna be able to get my wellness and my health back in check, because that has been through the ringer this year, that's for sure. All right, I'm at the salon. We switched up the layout here yesterday. Sorry, it's like the lighting's kind of weird because the sun's rising and it's just super bright. But we switched up the layout here and it looks so good. So we originally had the plant boutique over here in this corner, and we liked it. It was like nice and cozy, but A, we were just restricted with space, and B, we just felt like it like wasn't getting its full moment to be seen because like our station's over here, people wouldn't be able to see it, and it was just like kind of like around the corner a little bit. So we actually moved it to the center, and our waiting room is now like right in the middle, and so you're just like literally sitting in a plant boutique, and it's just so cute and just has such a fun vibe now. And then we moved the reception desk to like right when you walk in, which is nice. Yeah, I definitely am gonna need some time to get used to it, because even like when I walked in, even though I like knew that we changed the layout, it, like my eyes had to like kind of like readjust a little bit, but it was definitely a really good change though, that's for sure. today. It's around like 9 right now. I don't have a client until 10. And so I have a little bit of time. I'm just letting my phone charge up before I head to work. I have 2 clients today. I have a blonding appointment this morning, and then I have like basically my client wanting to like tone down her blonde balayage to more of like a fall blonde balayage this like around like 4. I'll have a little bit of a gap in between my first and my second client, which is nice because I actually have a couple errands I need to run. I have a bunch of returns I have to do basically. I have to do some returns at Ulta. I have some Amazon returns, and I need to do a return at Home Goods too. So I'll have a productive gap time this afternoon. I've been needing to do, I hate doing returns. I take forever to do them, so I kind of wait until the last minute. But anyway, I wanted to talk about my first client that I'll have today, because I feel like this is definitely something that we get a lot as blonding specialists and stuff. So this client, I filmed my video of me doing her hair whenever she got it done. So this was probably like 6 weeks ago. And she was my platinum blonde, and she was starting to notice a little bit of breakage in her like front hairline area, and so she was wanting to tone down her balayage and take a break from lightener, and was really set on doing like a teddy blonde kind of color. She wanted to see a lot of warmth in it too, so but didn't want it to be like coppery, but kind of wanted it like a strawberry blonde kind of moment. So I already had to be creative with the formulation, because since she was naturally a level 8 and a very porous blonde, I had to add in a lot of warmth in the formula at first. And she, you know, she liked it, all the things, right? But now she's ready to go back blonde. And I had given her the whole conversation. She's got very fine, thin hair. And so I kind of told her when we consulted, I was like, you know, I'm not opposed to taking you blonde or taking you darker or whatever, doing something for the fall. But, you know, if we do that, I'm going to recommend you keep it for a good amount of time, because, you know, at your next appointment, it's probably not going to be like washed out enough. I knew that she wasn't going to want to keep it. And I just told her, like, you know, the second I pull color all the way through your ends, then when I go back to lighten that back up, if I have to do that in 6 weeks, it's going to really compromise your hair. And so, yeah, she messaged me a couple weeks ago and was like, because she actually wanted her appointment brought up a little sooner. And I really didn't have anything for her. And I was honestly scared to lighten it too fast anyway, also. And so at least I can tell she sent me some inspo. It's going to be a little bit more of like a lived-in blonde, because we were doing highlights. She was basically like 1 step away from being a platinum card, was what we were originally doing on her. So it looks like she wants to be a little bit more of like a lived-in situation, which is going to be helpful. But it really is just going to depend on a couple variables. One, how faded is her current color? And like I said, I didn't formulate anything lower than a 7. Actually, I didn't formulate anything lower than an 8. So that's going to help. But I don't know. I'm thinking that what I'll probably just do for this first appointment, and so I'm going to have to like, this is one of those things that we're just going to have to like, this is all things talking like managing client expectations. And, you know, while on someone standard, I would maybe do like a full-blown teasy light, but like I said, she's got a really delicate hair texture, and as I was saying, this was kind of why I didn't really want to take her light. But I also know though too, like, she's very thorough when it comes to hair and hair questions. Like, I'm almost always having like a really long consultation with her, which there's some misconceptions with that. I know I see some hairstylists that say, you know, if a client talks for 30 minutes, you know, you need to like get them out of your chair. And some people that is the case, but so I do have some clients that are just genuinely like very thorough, and I'm very thorough as well when I'm consulting, and I talk a lot too. So I never, like, when I say that we have long consultations, it's not ever in a way where I'm never, like, nervous to do her hair. And she's never, like, she's not, like, a complicated client. But, like I said, she is just really thorough. And I just like to keep that in mind when it comes to performing client services. I don't know. And so things like this are hard because I'm scared that, I guess I'm saying all this to say, I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to perform out of caution for her hair, which I know her and I know that she will be thankful that I'm keeping her hair's integrity at the forefront. But also too, it sucks. Like, this is why I don't do a lot of color corrections, because I hate, like, doing a million sessions on people and then, like, not loving their hair in, like, the interim time. So it's like a double-edged sword, because, like, on one end I'm like, girl, this is why I was hesitant to do this. But then also too, you know, I just, out of caring and just loving doing hair, I want you to love your hair too. I'm saying all this, but then I could be saying all this and maybe her hair is, like, fully washed out at this point. Like I said, it was a level 8. I do know she has to shampoo more times than even she would like to because she has such fine hair. So it could be all rinsed out by now. I'm thinking what I'll, like, if I'm having to be very delicate, I'm only going to probably want to do a shadow root and, like, either an open air balayage to, like, knock the color out, or a wet balayage. If I could also see me being able to potentially do, like, a money piece or a partial with because she does really love, like, a really soft blended placement. So I do know that if we had some highlights in there too, that would also help. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't know. So you guys are going to come along that process with me. I will probably try to film the consultation and we'll, like, walk you guys through what I'm doing. I'm debating, depending on how much I film of it, I might vlog some of it and then I might do a whole separate video on the side. I might also just include it in the vlog. It will really just depend on how much footage I'm able to get. So I am excited for it in terms of, like, I do think it'll be good content. I just hope that I am able to, like, have my cake and eat it too, and have her hair protected, but also to be able to, like, kind of take her back to a little bit more of, like, a brighter blonde. So that's what we'll be doing this morning. And then, yeah, like I said, I'll have a break. And so you guys will probably run some errands with me. So let's get to the salon. I will see you guys when I get there.
Two combined.
Okay.
Like that with the ashiness.
Okay. What ashy part do you like the best?
This part.
That
like
part?
The blonde.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's probably more of a brunette when you see that darker base. But you like that. Okay, I like that, but yeah, I could see when I see the ashiness that you're talking about that you like. When we pull this up, I feel like that might be a little too close to your skin tone. Do you see that? I feel like that's that same, so it's like the same level that I toned down your blonde to, and I know it was like a very warm, like Teddy kind of color that we did on you last time, but if you're kind of, are you wanting to feel more brighter today?
Brighter and ashy.
Brighter and ashier, yeah. I could see if I did this on you, just because that's naturally, she has the contrast on her because she's got that darker base. I feel like on you that would probably just look kind of like solid compared to, like, your root when you kind of look at it compared to your natural root. Like, there's not as much of, like, there's like a slight tone difference, but not a ton.
Gotcha.
Do you see that? Yeah. Okay. But I like where you're going with it for sure.
So, like,
that one's probably a little bit more realistic to what you kind of naturally have, and what I feel like that kind of has that difference in it, that where it has that brightness with that ashiness too.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is there anything about that you don't like?
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Just preferably, like, I just like the difference there.
Okay. Good. Yeah. You want to see more of a money piece with that then too?
Yeah, but what do you think about the baby hairs?
That's what, okay, so what I am just in full transparency scared of a little bit. I'm glad that this is back to like a blonde. I'm personally scared of, and like when I say scared, it's not that serious, but my I don't really want to say hesitation because I want to take you back blonde today. The thing that I'm going to be concerned about the most is just giving you more breakage. Does that make sense? Just because of lightening on top of such blonde hair already, but the only way for us to get you back brighter is to lighten it a little bit.
Okay.
So I know that was why you went darker for a little bit, was to give your hair a little bit of a bleach break because you're starting to notice breakage too. So the good news with this is that I'm glad to see that the oranginess that I had to put in your hair, I'm glad to see that that's out. That helps. But obviously it's just this like middle ground, not bright and also not ashy kind of blonde to go too with that. So what are your genuine thoughts on if we did, eventually what I would love to do on you is still have, 'cause I know you love to see that like soft color variation right up here. And even though, so it looks like that picture kind of has a little more of a root to it too. So eventually if you want to kind of keep this kind of color where you are okay to see a little bit of your roots while it's just cooler, a little bit ashier and all that stuff. Eventually what I would love to do on you is to still do baby lights on you. I just won't have to do as much as we normally do. Baby lights with like a color melt, basically with like a shadow root, and then keeping your money piece, because the color melt over the baby lights is what's going to help to give it that blend, but still give you that like bright sprinkles variation, that blend up here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm scared that might stress your hair out today though if I did baby lights on top of this blonde. But I want to focus today mostly on brightening up these ends, because you do still have a good blend going on up here too. How do you feel about, I know like don't look at this, but how do you feel about this root situation going on up here?
It's not bad. Just like when I pull my hair, so when I have my hair up now, I'm
missing your blonde.
Yeah, I'm noticing the difference right there.
Yeah. So I feel like I feel good about doing like a money piece on you and bringing your money piece back so that you can still start to see your blonde when you pull your hair back again. I even wouldn't be opposed to, if you wanted to, if I did like a really dimensional partial and more so focus my blonde on your money piece. And then where I want to put my emphasis on when it comes to blonding today is more so doing like a freehand balayage. It's gonna help to like, cause really, since this is blonde again, but it's just not like bright or ashy yet, we need to just get this extra warmth knocked out. So this doesn't need, down here obviously doesn't need highlighted. If I highlighted this and put in a foil, your hair would be on the ground by the time you walk out. So we're obviously not doing that. So I'm thinking my game plan today, I'm good to give you a money piece. I figured that you probably were missing your blonde. And even if I do just do a money piece, I'll do it in a way where you will have your brightness here, but you'll still have your blend though too. Because I know that having that good, decent blend is like a big priority of yours though also. So I don't want you to feel like you have to worry about that either. I'll do a money piece on you. I'll probably do a few sprinkles back because that'll kind of help ease that transition from money piece to root. And then I'm gonna do a freehand balayage. So you're gonna see the lightener on the ends of your hair, and that's what's gonna help to knock this warmth out. And then at the shampoo bowl, then we'll do a shadow root through here. Probably won't really touch up here. I might do it just a smidge, just for like blending purposes. But what the shadow root will do then is to kind of help to like cool this down up here then too a little bit, and then just further aid in the blending. And then we'll tone your ends then too to like that brighter, cooler blonde.
Okay, so everything's gonna be ashy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Everything should be ashy. Now, will it be like? We might need to do it like at your second time to make it perfectly ashy, because we're gonna be knocking out a little bit of warmth here. There's a good chance that your warmth might get out to like your perfect, like the blonde that you had before we did it. It might need like some tweaking when we do your hair again, like in like the 6 to 8 week mark. But yeah, for sure, everything will be a lot more cooled down and a lot brighter today though.
Okay.
Too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, compared to that picture.
That picture is pretty realistic to what I feel like you'll be able to get, because I feel like that's more of like the roots pretty ashy, but then the ends it's cooler, but it's really bright, so it's not unrealistic for you to get to, I don't think so.
Okay.
That ended up going better than I thought. Went really well, and I love the end result. It was honestly, it was one of those things I feel like even I was pretty shocked with how it ended up looking. The only thing is that she's not exactly sure how much she like loves having a shadow root, which is fair. She normally gets blonde straight up to the dome, so I told her, you know, if she doesn't want to have a shadow root at her next appointment, we don't always have to do one. But her inspo pic had a shadow root. She wanted to do it more lived in this time to kind of ease her way back into being blonde without it being like too much, which I even told her whenever I take someone back to blonde from a darker color, I always start at the end and work my way up anyway. So it was, you know, the best of both worlds. But no, besides that, most of the orange part of the like bronze color had faded out, which was good, because I had to use a lot of like 8WGs, 8GGs. I think I used a little bit of like level 8 coppers the last time too. So, and like some 8NBs and, you know, all those things. So that had all faded out, and she basically came in with like a pretty golden level 9. Some of her, so sorry if you're not a hairstylist, because I'm just gonna be very hairstylisty for like the next couple minutes, because it's just easier. I love to talk in like layman's terms about this to my clients, and I always do. I don't like use the level system when I talk to clients, because to clients those things are like subjective and they don't fully understand, and that's confusing and all that stuff. So I don't use the level system, and I don't use hairstylist terms when I'm talking to clients, but now I'm going to, because it's just easier. So if you're not a hairstylist, this might be kind of hard to understand. But anyway, so yeah, she was really gold, level 9 when she came in. It had her roots grown out, and now it had only been 6 weeks, so it wasn't like a super long grow out, which is helpful for cases like this, which was helpful for at least like not needing to do a ton of like foiling. So I had told her what I was comfortable with, and what I felt like she truly really needed was an open air balayage on all of her ends to brighten up the yellow, and to get, there were remaining little hints of like a brondy kind of color, that really warm blonde. Those were kind of lingering in some spots, but I knew that an open air balayage should get it as long as I let it sit for long enough. So I did that, and then I did a very dimensional partial highlight on her. And then I did a money piece touch up. Her main thing is that she loves to have a very blended look, and then she also likes to be really blonde when she puts her hair back. So we actually do a Scandinavian hairline on her as well, because I can't remember, I probably said this earlier, but she's naturally a level 8, so she does have a lot of baby hairs, but so it's just easier to do like the Scandinavian hairline on her then as well. So I was comfortable enough to do all of that, and then I foiled the underneath of her hairline too, just so that like basically her whole ponytail area was all covered with like good foiling work. And then I did just like a few sprinkles of highlights throughout her crown, just so that like there was good fluidity and connection, because sometimes I feel like when you're just doing a money piece, especially on something like this where I'm taking someone back blonde, it can look, and I knew I was doing a root, but like I said, I know she wants a more like blended overall result, and I knew that doing highlights up here would kind of help to like help with that. So that's what I did. And then I did everything only in 10 volume, so that was very helpful for the health of her hair. And then what I also did then too, because by the time that I was done doing her by the time I was done painting her ends, most, like I'd say like a little over half of her crown foils were done, so I pulled them right away. And then same thing with some of her money piece foils too, they were already done, so some of those I pulled as well. And just did her Scandinavian hairline at the bowl, and then did her shadow root and did her toner. So yeah, she is definitely nice and really blonde now. Next time I am, even if she does want to keep the shadow root, next time I am going to go in and do a full highlight. Even if we don't make it like super blonde, I'll probably ease her back into having like the super blonde for the health part of her hair anyway. But I did tell her next time I want to do a full highlight, because that will help to further knock out in like the underneath areas where there is like residual warmness, where there is residual warmth. The shadow root covered most of it, but I could see it possibly like washing up, if that makes sense. So that will help with that. And like I said, she comes every 6-ish weeks anyway, so I don't have to worry about her color fading like too much. She does have to wash quite a bit because her hair is really fine. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, the only thing is that we might not keep the shadow root for long term, but that's okay. I'm just glad that, and even she was saying, she's like, I'm just so glad that I'm really blonde again otherwise. So it actually though took me, so I don't have another client until 4, and I finished a little bit after 2 and everything. I didn't leave the salon until like 2:30, and then I had to stop home because I kept forgetting to grab these like frames that I need for the salon. So I grabbed those really quick because I'm printing off a poster that I need to get framed. But I also need to do those returns, and I'm glad that I didn't end up having an afternoon client in between, because that definitely would have been really stressful. I don't have a client again until 4, so I honestly don't think I'm going to be able to do all the returns that I want, because it's 3 right now. I need to go and do a return at Ulta, Home Goods, and then I need to stop at Kohl's for an Amazon return. So I might have to wait on Home Goods. That's the stuff that I purchased last. So I do for sure want to return my stuff at Ulta, which sucks because I kind of want to get some makeup restocks. Luckily that didn't take very long. I realized I forgot my receipt though, but that wasn't a big deal because since I do Ulta rewards, they were able to look it up really quick. So I literally just exchanged it for other makeup that I needed to restock. So a mascara that I know that I do like, because I can't remember if I mentioned this earlier, but what I exchanged was the Tarte Tubing mascara. TikTok shop got me on it, but it did not work for me at all. Like the mascara itself wasn't bad, but the primer was like weighed my lashes down so much. And I bought it in a kit, so it was like $50, and I was like, the way that I could get like all of my typical restocks with that $50. So yeah, I got this is the L'Oreal Sky High mascara. This is like one of my favorites. It's so lengthening, and I normally get like their brownish black too. So I love that. Had to get some more primer. This was the e.l.f. Power Grip primer. It's one of those things, I always feel like my skin doesn't need primer, and then I ran out a couple days ago, so then I was like, okay, I just won't use it for a couple days. Within like 2 days, I was starting to get breakouts and clogged pores. So love that. I'm almost out of my Lumi Glotion, and then I also needed another lip oil. I like to keep one in my purse and one in my car. This one is in the shade Jam Session, and I have like a pink one that I keep in my car that you guys normally see me wearing. But yeah, I wanted a little bit of a darker one, and this one's from e.l.f. too. I can't remember if I said that earlier, but yeah, I don't think I've tried this shade though before, so I'm excited to try it. Let's see. Oh my god. Cute. This is a really cute like fall shade. So this one will be the one that I keep in my car, and then I'll keep the pink one in my purse. So yeah, that was pretty successful. So then probably tomorrow, if I have time, is when I'll do my Amazon returns and then my home goods return too. Cause yeah, it's 3:21 and I have to be back to the salon by 4.